Hello everybody, and welcome back to my vlog. Now today what I'm going to be doing, or attempting to do this is I'm going to be making a dipole antenna for the AirBand frequency. So I can listen to that with my trusty scanner, a little Uniden UBC 125X LT. And we're going to be using this Omni calculator for the antenna lengths. So I've given it the frequency, which is about mid-range, 127.5 megahertz, as we're working from about 118 to 137, and 127.5 is round about where we want to be. We've got the antenna length of 111 centimeters, 0.88 centimeters, and 2 halves of 55.94. So I've already cut these into that 55.94. They may need a little tiny bit trimmed off the end. I've got for my coax, I've got these 3-piece BNC connector, because that's what's on my scanner to connect there. I have some coax, so the thing was connecting them together. Now, I bought a little bag, which I can't seem to find. Maybe this is it. Yeah, you'd think that the 4mm aluminium rod might fit into the 4mm connector, because that's what it's supposed to do. But it sort of, well, it doesn't. I mean, it goes on the end there, and it will sit onto the end of what's inside there, but what's inside there, if I can get a bit of light on that, it's not 4mm. So basically that's no good. I mean, look, that's as far as it goes. If I put my thumb there and pull that out, you see where that is actually inside the inside there. You see, that's about the depth of what that is. So that's no good. It doesn't go into the end of it, and it's no good to me whatsoever. And I'm finding it quite difficult to get some of these. Now, I did think about just keep filing and filing and filing away on these, maybe grind them down a little bit to get them to fit. That's one possibility, but I thought, well, that's an awful lot of work, and if I mess it up, I've already cut them. If I mess it up, then, you know, rather than have those connectors, what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat shrink the coax on there. So I want to be about that far apart, with the inner coax on one end and the outer coax on the other end, yeah, the braiding. And then I'm going to fit them into this 3-way connector. So if you can imagine it, these are going to be fitted in here. The braids are going to come into here, split off one of each ways. We've got some like these connector things, so I can push these over so it keeps it nice and snug. Once it's in there, and then you use these, yeah, to clamp it down. I'm not going to clip it in because they've got little clips on there as well, and they're a bit of a pain in the backside to get apart. But once that's all in there, I can hold this pretty snug. I may have to put something in here non-conductive just to keep this, you know, sort of snug in here. But that's how I think I'm going to be doing it. Now, these offer just one of each, and they've got to go on the outer parts. They won't fit on these middle bits, but I might see if once I've got the, well, before I put the heat shrink on, of course, there's some ones with not so small holes, which I'm thinking that maybe if I move that down out of the way, I can get it heat shrinked on, put that over the top of the heat shrink, and actually have that on the inside as well. So that when that's sat in there, this whole thing will be a bit more snug. You know, as a bug in a rug. try and hold that into place. And then we'll just see how that works. Yeah, that's the plan. That's what we're going to do. So yeah, so I suppose the next bit I'm going to get on and do then is put one of these on both sides. Put one of these on. Find another one that's pretty snug. It's got to be able to go over the heat shrink, so you get 3 of these small, and then 3 of these a bit bigger, and then 3 of the even bigger ones, but we're not interested in the even bigger ones. As we're going to put our coax through it, which might be a good idea. We're more interested in this first and getting the coax on there, getting the coax through this, because that will sit here and keep the coax in check once it's got its little nut on that side. One on there, one on here, and one on here. So to keep that together. And we should have an antenna then we can test. So, let's get it done. Here's my coax. This is 25 meters. I don't need 25 meters for this. And just off camera here, I think it can be easy for me. I'm going to take off the cellophane. This is RG58 coax. It's not the cheapest RG58, but it's not the most expensive RG58. And I think just for now, it will do me for my, if you have a look at that, I mean that's not too bad as it goes. It's copper. It's not too bad, but this is the wrong end, I believe. I think because the way it is on the roll, that I want the other end. So I'm going to chuck that down there and cut some of this with a knife. And I reckon I'm going to go for about this much cutting off. This is probably about 1.5 inches. I'm not going to cut it too deep into it, so I don't want it to cut through the... Yeah, let's pull that off. So a friend of mine gave me this, said it could come in useful for me, and he's absolutely right. It does come in useful. I hope it's all... and then just pull that off. As you can see, I'm making a bit of a pig's ear out of it, but it's nice that it's nice and tight, I suppose. There we go. Alright, so just trying to see if I've lost any of it. So I just pull this down like this. And all we want is one side of this is going to go, like I say, on one part. I'm going to twist that up. Doesn't have to be twisted loads. In actual fact, the more of a contact it makes, the better. And then I'm going to cut through this. We want a small space between these as possible. Cut through that. Now, I'm going to throw this on the end of here. I could do it afterwards, cutting the end. I'm going to use about... I'm going to stick 5 meters of cable on there. The reason why I'm going to use 5 meters of cable is because up the other end, upstairs in the attic, to get it through the hole in the ceiling and down here, it's about 4.5, 5 meters, but I need a little bit of extra. And so I wanted to cut it exactly about 4.5 meters, but it doesn't have to be exact. So what I'm going to do now then is I'm going to put some heat shrink over here, tuck that in there and heat shrink it on, and hope that that's going to be good enough. Now, it's not the perfect way of doing it, I know, But just because I just want to get it done, I just want to be able to play with it, and I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of waiting for people to respond to me on eBay with me just trying to confirm that I can put 4mm into their 4mm connectors. The argument that the bloke gave me about the ones that I bought, oh, they're industrial sizes. It doesn't mean to say because it says 4mm that you can put a 4mm in there. What's all that about? I don't care about your mechanics of things. If it says a 4mm butt connector, I want to be able to stick some 4mm into it. Anyway, I don't want to get started again with all that. Let me just put on my heat gun over here. I'm just going to make sure that's ready for action. Right, like I say, where's the other things? I wonder if I can actually stick one of these over. That's is that the tightest one? That's going to be that tight on here. Let's just give this a go over this coax. I was just wondering if I could get a bit of a more snug fit for when this thing goes outside. But I suppose I can also always chuck a bit of I don't know, a bit of Vaseline, that sort of thing you stick on car battery terminals, isn't it, to help keep them moisture up. Let's just yeah, so let's just get this in here anyway. Let's get my first bit of heat shrink. I did dig out a bit of heat shrink. Oh, seem to have lost it. I've got a bunch of antennas here. I've been playing around. I've got a new toy. I've been playing around with it, but we're on the hunt for heat shrink at the moment, so this black stuff will that go over there, but it's got to go over that and the wire. There's some black stuff here, will that go over that? It seems like it might fit both, so let's chop a bit off. That should do it, probably for both sides. I'll chuck that in there, get rid of that. So now I put this here and stick this here. What I want to do is, of course, is go over that. So if I just flatten that, I'll use that little pair of pliers again to do that actually. Flatten this out a bit so it sits nice and flat, and hopefully it will mean that I can get it in here better. So if I put that in first, just to put the light down there, because it always don't seem to be working as well as I'd hope. So I'm going to see if I can just get that to go over here, so we're keeping it sort of flat. Like this. Get the whole lot underneath there. Come here. So we can cheat it in. Let's see if we can cheat it in. I'll put nothing like that. Here we go. Look at that lot. Stupendous. Beautiful. Alright. So let's see if this works. Right, so there's my gun. Oh, it's falling out. So whatever that falls out, I've got to add it onto the length of the antenna. So don't actually want it to be falling out or anything. Whoa, let me just pick that back up again, turn that round. Just want to make sure I got it on there pretty tight, right? Just want to make sure it's in there pretty tight. Put that back up in its holster. And then we can do the other side. So this one's probably going to be a bit more awkward, because it's wider could have maybe thought about, maybe I was thinking that maybe I could have thought about keeping it. I should have took my laptop off this this workbench. I would have had a better chance of getting all this stuff on together. There's a lot of stuff on here, and I really should have. Organised my space better. But never mind. Let's see if that's. Yep, that's how we want it. Look. Push that up there as far as I can. That'll do it. Where's that heat gone? This can just be like this. The nice thing about it is when it comes to needing to change it, I can just change it around, can't I? I can just get the things in the connectors that I need, and then change it over. Not a biggie. But I want something working. I want something done. Because it gets really annoying to me when I can't get things done. See, now these look, I can put them over like that, so that's a nice tight fit. That's a nice snug fit going over there as well, just to help keep a nice connection. And that can sit in there. And when that thing shuts up, it's just running itself down on temperature. Push that, because that's really snug, that is. That's to stop the weather getting in. Let me just make sure that that's not going to be touching that anywhere. Okay. And that's like that. The camera a bit seems to be getting off on the wonky. On this bit here, we can put that one in there. Alright. Right, we're just going to get snug there. That we're going to get snug there. Pull that across. Clip that down. And I'm hoping we put these on, one over one end. There it goes. And one over the other end. Now this is just going to be going up in my attic for now. Get that in snug there. I think one of these is sticking out a bit. Don't know which one it is. There we go. Thread. Okay, so that's not too flappy about. I'll put that on there like this. And if I move that up out of the way, move back, we get to see that the antenna, there it is. That's okay. That's pretty darn good. There's hardly any movement on there, and as it's going to be inside up in the attic, it's going to be okay. So now I'm going to do, I'm just going to measure off in shorthand 4 meters. So basically what I do is I have the wire in my hands here, and I just pull that out through, have the wire, the coax in my hand. I pull it through this finger here, pulling it through, and I do it so I've got one part touching the tip of my nose right to the end of me stretching out the arm, and I consider that to be a meter. It's probably just slightly over, but that'll be fine. So I'm just going to quickly do 5 of those for this. So the first one, I've got this and I'm putting it up to my nose. Oh, I'm outstretched. Now I'm going to do that again for the next bit. There you go, it's just rough, it doesn't matter. That's 2, that's 3, that's 4. There you go, that's around about 5. That'll do. Now, I'm going to just cut that. And the bit that we want to know, of course, is first of all we want to make sure inside there is electrically okay, meaning that those 2 wires haven't touched each other, or the 2 bits of aluminium rod aren't touching each other. I can check that easy just with a multimeter on here for a continuity test. And then we're going to chuck a connector on there. So if I do that about there, so I've got these push-on connectors, and there's a little tiny bit of plastic still connected there. Got the push-on connector. Oh, let's pull that out. Now, if you wanted to, depending on what you were, where you were planning on putting this antenna, and the reason why I've built it the way I have with these aluminium rods is because I do intend on sticking it outside. But just for now, it's going to be inside. And oh, well, first of all, let's just do the electrical connection. So we're going to just push this down out the way a little bit and just take the end off this for a second. It wants to be off, all the way down here, but just for a second we're just going to take that off there while I'm looking alright for the multimeter. There it is, right in front of me. That'll do. I just want to make sure that we don't have any continuity. So let me switch my multimeter on, put it on for the right settings, and there it is over there. And somewhere under there is a couple of probes that we should be using. There we are. We just want to make sure. Yep, that's good. See, touch them together. So inside that junction box there, they're not touching together, they're not doing anything. Everything should be just about as we wanted it, which is all good. Now we're going to stick a connector on this, and hopefully I won't hash this up. 3 pieces. A little thing out here. So first of all, I'm going to just pull that forward and stick this across the sheath, because this is what we're going to use to crimp it all together. And push that back out of the way. This could be done neater, I know, and I'm sure over time and without a camera right in front of me, it's some of these. Again, like I say, gonna twist that up so it's nice and tight over there. And in some respects, I may not even really need to crimp this as it goes on there, just because it is, there's one little strand I can see not quite going in there the way it should, and we don't want it to be messing about. So, because it is quite a firm fit, which is always nice. if I just keep trying to twist that on. Oh, come on. Oh, there you go. I mean, that is a firm fit. I know there's a little bit of a gap there, but it shouldn't really make any difference to us. Once that goes on there, and that's sticking through there, it can't really go terribly wrong. Now, I do prefer to use the crimping tool, but I don't want to keep damaging the tips of these, so I'm just going to try using this pair of pliers to see if I can there's a crimp here. And see if we're good to go like that. Put that on there like that. Push that across here. Find the bit. There it is. And I can keep that up there. Like so. That's the easiest bit with the crimp because we know which bit to stick it in. And there we go. Just crimp it on nicely. I'm not going to worry about that bit of excess around there. Just a minute. I'll get the little snips on there. If it annoys me too much, just for the minute, what we want to do now is, this isn't going to be the best way of testing the VSWR on this, because of where it is, but I'll be able to move that about once we get it connected up to this. So this is my little NanoVNA. I can just use this. I'm going to enter the display and just turn off some things. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. All I want is this trace here, and we are going to be going on to SWR. Go back here, and I do believe that I've already got 118 to 136. Alright, it's going to put everything back there. But that's alright, because even though I've got it on that, because I've already calibrated it for 118, 136, sort of in that sort of area, I'm going to go back to the display, to the trace, turn these off. And we should be good for 118 down there, 136 here, if you can see that. And then all we're going to do now is put a little adapter on here so I can put this BNC on here. We do have one on my thing here that's got a pin in it. And just see if we got anywhere close with this antenna. Okay, so what I've done is I've just managed to just put it up behind me, so it's not right by this table. And as we can see now, if we, I nearly did that actually on the phone. If we move our little marker down to about there, now we got 127 megahertz. And SWR is 1.025. We go all the way up, we're all good. I mean, that's 135, 136 there, and it's 2.2. Now remember, we're not transmitting on this, so it's not going to do any damage. Anything over 3 is supposed to be bad, but what we don't want to see really is that would be reflected voltage. Stop. We don't want that to be doing that. I'll just move it with this thing on top instead. So we get to see that we're at 2.3 at 118.1 megahertz. So we do cover that band quite nicely. It's not brilliant, but it's not bad. It's not bad for first sort of go at building an airband. antenna, and the idea was to try and get that resonant frequency around about 127. That thing gone out of focus again. 127.5, and it's managed to get it pretty good down there. So yeah, I've had it on. I've been listening for a little bit just while I've been basically messing around, putting the files onto the computer and bits and pieces for this, and it seems to be okay. It'll be much better off when it's up in the attic. And that junction box has got a couple of screw holes already built into it, and it comes with a couple of screws, so I can just screw it to the beam in the attic, the wooden beam, and it can be up there, and I'll see what the difference is between that and another antenna that I got up there that I bought, a Slim G. Okay, right, that's that. Cheers for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.